allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us call am hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one na dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Can he dey touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be dey holla say dem want the power. Chai, dem be promise us say we go get light and power. Dem hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Máyégún
Today. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. And thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are joining us from. Give me a second. Let me put this rightly. So, please, brethren, if you have read the caption of this broadcast, make sure you read the description as well. Yeah, like it, share it, and tell everyone that Mayegun today. Thank you so much once again. And this is Mayegun Live. So tonight, we are looking into a variety of gists, happenings, including some historical expose, especially on those who have been used. We have said that many times on this platform, though, right? Those who have been using religion to hoodwink, control, the mind game, the social conditioning, and all of that in Nigeria. I am going to share a bit on that tonight. But yesterday, the Prime Minister of, can you hear me? Yes, you can. Okay. So the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, visited Nigeria on his way to Brazil, where they are hosting the G20 summit. Okay. So when he landed in Nigeria yesterday, you see, Nigeria happened to be one of the countries in the world where Indians have a sizable population. All right. We consider that, we kind of believe that Nigerians are one of the most, migrating countries in the world. That, there's no part of this world that you won't see Nigerians traveling to. But Indians actually have more of their citizens outside their country than Nigeria, because they are like about 7 times the population of Nigeria, if not more. Yeah, more than 7 times. The population of India is 1,440,000,000 people. Okay, so they have a lot in common with Nigeria. And to those of you who have, everyone who's lived in Lagos before, you probably can attest to the Indian community in Lagos. I haven't lived in Abuja myself, so I don't know what their numbers, what their number is in Abuja. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much once again for joining me. But the interesting thing is this: when Modi arrived Nigeria yesterday, okay, he met with, it was actually welcomed by the Indians in Nigeria, right from the airport to almost everywhere he went and all that. Then Koolu and his handlers, right? They gave him a very, very amazing welcome right from the airport, with a wiki handed him the key to the city of Abuja, even though Abuja no get gates. Anyway, he handed him the key to the city as a mark of honor, okay? And then they drove him straight to go and see Thiefnubu, who also lined the old rock villa with the guard of honor, the military, kind of, right? And yeah, he observed the guard of honor too. I think they also had the gun salutes. It was massive, as if to say Modi came with some goodies. He didn't come with anything. It was just like a normal, normal head of state or head of government visits. But say Koolu has been fighting for legitimacy. He has been looking for legitimacy everywhere. Any little thing like this, they go overblow him, make him look like, oh, more. Do you know who visited me? So when you are not elected, when you rig yourself to power, and nobody really wanted you except the sewage dwellers, the ass lickers, the crumb eaters, the praise singers, who always feel like, even though nobody wants you, sure you get, but yes, he's here, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So the legitimacy battle, okay, makes Thiefnubu to, click to just anyone, and also a chance, okay, to make himself feel important too, as well. So when Modi came to Nigeria, like I said, he didn't come with anything. He didn't bring anything. The last time Modi and Thiefnubu met, it was around this time last year in Delhi, in India, when India hosted the G20 summit. Okay, I don't know if you remember that. Don't worry, I'm here. I can always give you a flashback. This was how Thiefnubu was welcomed in India back then, Sha. Be like a Megad we lost his way, just to remind you. So that's how he was welcomed. But remember, that wasn't a state visit. He was attending the G20 summit. Then you need to see other photos, other pictures of Koolu. It'd be like Megad, the retired tout, the retired Agberu, that got mixed up with, in a wrong crowd. Like it was somewhere that it wasn't meant to be. I mean, I should have probably shown you that picture, but that's not the point tonight, okay? Then, the Akuri niga lai lai, that worry or something. You know that Akuri niga lai lai, that one that can lie, in the face of obvious facts, it will still lie. Somebody that the Yoruba say this one can lie, and a dead man will rise. That was Akuri niga lai lai. So they quickly penned a paper and they said, Indian Koolu signed a bilateral deal with Thiefnubu, as well as the governors that went with him. They said India was going to invest $14 billion. How many of you remember? It's been a year now. $14 they don't give to Nigeria. 14 shishi. Seriously. It was all over the media. Go and Google it. Nigeria signed a bilateral deal with India, 14 billion as achievement of Thiefnubu. Up to this moment, 14 kobo. But you know that in Nigeria, right? The Indian communities Indian community in Nigeria, they are mostly into business, right? They are pharmaceuticals. I think they are the ones who are doing the Bajaj motorcycles or Bajaj tricycle. What else? They are mostly into, manufacturing as well, and importation of or assembling of bicycles or motorcycles, right? Yeah. So they've been there before Koolu. So it's not as if to say now Koolu brought them. Okay, they've been there like forever. Okay. And in Lagos as well, they've had a very good fair share that they are already having their own island, like the Chinese, like the Lebanese in Lagos, where Koolu sold almost half of Lagos, recovered land to, right? The Eco-Atlantic. Abi? So this time around, when Modi landed in Nigeria, it was to serious fanfare, including guard of honor. Let me show. Okay, hang on. When he arrived at the Old Rock, all right, and then after that, they gave him guard of honor and all that stuff. Which one should we go for first? Let's go for when he arrived.
Good morning, Excellency. Good morning. National flag! Freedom!
Told you. So it was given a beautiful welcome, and all that display. It don't finish. It never finish. Then they went into the Old Rock, where they are now saying a signed unilateral, bilateral deal. But this time around, they don't have figure. Last year, now $14 billion. But this year, they choose not to add figure because it is all worthless, so to say. The guy just stopped by, right, to see his Indian citizens in Nigeria, see those ones that you could see, do go to some shrine and then did all of that Amtabasha sign like that, and then he quickly jumped into the plane on the way to Brazil, including Thiefnubu. Thiefnubu is also on his way to Brazil, but we'll come back to that, okay? So they went inside the room where Koolu started singing his praise. Listen.
Our dear Prime Minister of India, it's a great honor to welcome you to Nigeria, and particularly in Abuja. Members of the Indian delegation, truly, you are welcome. Members of the Nigerian delegation, well, I believe you are at home. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's with profound pleasure to welcome His Excellency, Prime Minister of India, and members of delegation on this August visit. I recall that the last time we met was on the margins of G20 Leader Summit in Delhi in September 2023. As I recall, I have a very good time, a good lunch, and good experience to invite you so that we can rekindle and reclassify our relationship with India. The conference organized by our two countries, the frequency of high-level engagements has to improve. Indian citizens in Nigeria and investors are doing great service to your reputation and to democratic value and economic opportunity in our region. Although your current visit is short, I'm sure that you use this unique opportunity in many ways that we share similarities in terms of diversity and development experience, as earlier discussed. Nigeria values its excellent relationship with India, and we work to deepen broaden the same for mutual benefit of our two friendly countries. You represent a very strong commitment in democratic values and norms. You have been doing a good job. Historically, winning 3 consecutive elections in a complex society is a feat that we respect so much. Your transformative leadership, working hard at the heart of the people to reform the economy and place India on the top ladder of transformative governance, a good example of democratic value that we should continue to share, cherish, and promote, economic development of our people. It's a great asset that we have brought so far. In furtherance to deepen our relationship, I will confer on you today, the Prime Minister of India, Nigeria's national honor, the Grand Commander of the Order of Niger. This to signify Nigerian appreciation and commitment to India as a partner. You stood side by side with Nigeria on many fronts for many decades. Yes, our democracy is a quarter of a century old. You've navigated through India's sectors and also ensure joint collaboration to maintain and strengthen our relationship. Let me end this by brief remark by expressing appreciation of His Excellency to you for the visit and being favorably disposed to our renewed vision of mutually beneficial bilateral relations with Nigeria. I'm confident that our discussions will enhance Nigeria's Indian relations on the basis of mutual respect and shared mission. It is therefore my honor and privilege to invite the Indian Prime Minister to join me in this discussion. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of Nigeria.
Nuisance lele.
I told you it was just supposed to be somebody we call see family member for Nigeria, but Koolu decided to make it a state visit. There's no state visit per se, but that's not even the issue. Apologies to those of you that felt like, must we watch or listen to this? The reason why I kind of played it is because he's reading it, so it can go over it quickly. So it would have been like a punishment if Koolu was just, you know, doing this bulaba, bala, blue. That would have been a punishment. I would have warned you ahead. You know me, I would have warned you ahead. Say, hey, guys, please don't, you know. Koolu decided to now bestow on Modi the national honor that is reserved for the president of Nigeria. Anybody who has been president or who is like a president or head of state in Nigeria. GCON. No, sorry, vice presidential people. I think that's what they give that to. That's that. GCON, Grand Commander of the Order of Niger. It is a military, you know, it's a military title, so to say. And he gave it to Modi. Okay. In his effort to try to want to be relevant. Because that's what I see it as. Here you get Thiefnubu trying as much as possible to try to want to be relevant, like with this battle for legitimacy. It may sound somehow to you because he is the president. What other relevance is he looking for? That's the problem. Inferiority complex. If you have studied Thiefnubu very well, since that last year, he has been battling with what is called inferiority complex. Person will no win election. But he is your president. The way he waka, the way he talks, and all of that, you can see it in it. I mean, I am partly psychologist, you know that. I'm a part-time psychologist. And I can tell you, somebody who just needs this validation, somebody who just want to like, who just want to major in minor, kind of like, you know, irrelevance, to make them look so important. So, bilateral trade, unilateral trade agreement. Oh, okay. So they said that they are going to sell Nigeria crude oil to India. Nigeria don't they sell crude oil to India? No be today. India is interested in Nigerian mining sector. Now Indians are like Chinese. They are already in the mining sector in Nigeria. It is not Modi that is going to make Indians involved in mining in Nigeria. India. In fact, the person who is the co-CEO, I've been a vice CEO to Dangote, is Indian. If you go to Dangote refinery, more than 40% of those engineers working in Dangote refineries, I'm just being generous. So some said like more than 60% of engineers in Dangote refineries, they are Indians. More than 50% of Dangote staff in the Dangote refineries, they are Indians. So Indians are already involved in almost all sectors in Nigeria. But Thiefnubu, in his efforts trying to look relevant, trying to make it look like he's doing something. And this is the problem, right? If he's actually doing something, you will feel it too. But when somebody is trying to, is battling with legitimacy, because he's an illegitimate president, you know that. He didn't win any election in that place. Let's start with that one. So even if Rolukus are saying, cry today, you can cry for it. It's not, see, you are the ones crying. Somebody will no win election is destroying the contraption. And every single, in fact, every little thing, sometimes they will have to blow it out of proportion to make it look like, can you imagine? Indian president in Nigeria, Indian prime minister. Indian prime minister in Nigeria. India is also India and Nigeria, they are sharing the poverty capital in the world. The number of poor people in India, they doubled the population of Nigeria. If the population of Nigeria is, for example, 250 million, the poor people in India, they are over 600 million. I'm not making it up. Internet is your, go and check it. The number of poor people in India. India was supposed to be the poverty capital of the world, but because of their population size, you get, in the last decade, the Indian government, they have been pulling people out of poverty. You get now, like, instead of more people to become poorer in India, India used to be like a shithole. Like, it is still a shithole. You get me now? It's a shithole. But when you compare the number of people that they have lifted through education, through enterprises and all of that stuff, they are like, if they are not like 1.4, almost 1.5 billion, they would have been better off. You get now? India would have been like, let's say if India was like a population of 400 million, there's possibility that the poor people in India may be less than 50 million. But because the population of India is so massive, about nearly 1.5 billion people, the poor people in India, they double the population of Nigeria. There are more than 500 million poor people in India. Now, even though the last decade, they've pulled out more than 300 million people out of poverty in India in the last 10 years. In Nigeria, the population of Nigeria, is adjudged. Nobody get fact to, because all na make up to. There's no empirical facts. There's no evidence, okay, that the population of Nigeria is 200 million. Some says that the population of Nigeria is probably more than 200 million. Some said like it's far less than that. Yeah, but the number of poor people in Nigeria, you see, let's say you have population of 200 million, and 145 million are living in multi-dimensional poverty. That is why Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. It is like saying India population of 1.5 billion, 1.2 billion, they are poor. That would be like Omorek in here now. So that is why when you compare the number of poor people to the population, that's what makes Nigeria the poverty capital of the world, where more than 70% of the population are living in abject poverty. In the last 10 years, especially the last 9 years, more people have been deep in poverty in Nigeria, evidently, at least you can see it. More number of out of school children, where more than 10% of the population of Nigeria are the out of school children alone. Out of school children, over 20 million. So imagine India having population of 1.5 billion, for example, right? And they say 150 million of them are out of school. So children are still in school in India, even despite this poverty, this or that. Sure, you get. So that is why. So Nigeria and India, they share this tally, so to say. Okay. So it didn't bring anything. All right. Modi did not come to Nigeria with investors. So Thiefnubu and his gang, they are now kind of like making up all this display to make it look like, oh, Modi Nko, he came to Nigeria, he brought investors. So I'm glad that they didn't mention figure this time around. Last year, they said they signed $14 billion investments from India. Shengbako, no sign. Here you get. So this time around, they are not giving you figure, which is fair, at least. Let's say they don't adjust the whole lies. But it is all inferiority complex. To make it look like, oh my God, Indian Prime Minister is in Nigeria. Ah, man, what is the benefit? Zero benefits. Zero. If there is any, maybe there are some, there are some Indians in Nigeria who have tried and tried and tried to get the attention of Thiefnubu on some deals. And Thiefnubu's guys, they are not making it happen. They decided to go and tell their Prime Minister, Modi, come Nigeria, talk to Koolu for us. And Modi decided to come. They said, my friend, Oremi.
My friend, Oremi.
One of the most largest democracy
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You've told him, Prime Minister, when you get to Nigeria, you will tell him and say, you call him my friend, okay? Call him my friend. Oremi. Everybody will clap for you, they will laugh. And then please just tell him to please give us a chance. We want to extract this so and so from here and there. And they're asking us for bribe, and we don't want to give them bribe that much. Can you come to Nigeria on your way to Brazil? Say, oh yeah, I can. I'll come to Nigeria on my way to Brazil. Can they do this Dramenda greeting and Tabasha greeting and all of this kind of, all of that to Thiefnubu. Oh yeah, Funita too. GCON. So that's what happened. And immediately after that, Narendra Modi jumped in the plane off to Brazil. Few minutes after that, Koolu also jumped on plane off to Brazil. So make everybody just go back to bed, Jare. We hope that propaganda work on them, okay? So, and then let's go to Brazil. The same people that greeted him on his way to Brazil, by the time he land in Sao Paulo tomorrow, they will be the ones on the tarmac, airport tarmac, to welcome him to Brazil. Welcome, Mr. President, to Brazil. Ilushi, APC, Egbekegbe. So yesterday, I showed you I cannot show you the drama in Ondo State, Abi. I told you that they were going to announce APC, Egbekegbe winner of all the local government areas. That's exactly what happened. Similarly, in Ogun State, where there was no election per se, Baba, yesterday night, they announced APC to have won all of the local government areas in Ogun State, 20 local governments, 227 or so wards. Yeah, APC won everything. So in Ondo State yesterday, despite all that vote buying, violence, the shootings, the snatching of ballot boxes and all of that stuff, they still declared APC winner. And to those of you who probably didn't see that broadcast, go and watch it. Go and see the war they called elections. And if you are one of those still hoping that 2027, all opposition must come together. We must come together to make sure that we kick out this APC. You can dream or no. Dreaming is allowed. You're allowed to dream. I can't take your dream away from you. But sometimes we can tell you to wake up from that your delulu. Because, dream is different from reality. You get me now? Even though people were selling their votes, Yeah, people were willing to sell their vote. 10,000 naira. In some places, 5,000 naira. That's how much they are willing. You know, I said that yesterday, that the people themselves are not innocent. Yes, they are not. A lot of them are willing. They will tell you that I don't want to waste my vote. Okay? If you don't get money to pay me, please, let me just go and collect money from the people who have the money. So the APC, the PDP, depends on which of them is running the state in question, right? They have the state's money. They have the public money that they can use in buying votes. That is the trend. That is the norm. And there's nothing, and then INEC or any of them can do. The police, the DSS, and the rest, okay, they are all in on it. It is that rotten that when I see them celebrating what they call win, I'm like, man, black people that cannot elect their own representatives, their own leaders, free and fair, that's unbelievable. Here is how they announced the APC, Egbekegbe, as the winner of Ondo elections. 18-0.
Governorship election held on the 16th day of November 2024. The election was contested. The candidates received the following votes: Malaye Abraham Ajibola, PC 366781. APGA 623 of PDP 117845.
Let me be honest with you, right? The only elections or charade that any opposition will win in that contraption will be the ones that APC just intentionally just want to let go. Yeah. No matter how horrible APC, Egbekegbe is, they will never lose any election. I know that there are people willing to, collect money, and I get that. But the way Nigeria is right now, if APC lose any election anywhere, it is because they are like, you know what, we will give them that one. It is not because people's will or any it's the people democracy, if you believe that, or the if you believe that you have anything called democracy election in that contraption about Denier. Along. This is how much they have captured that contraption. They will never lose any election. Never. It's impossible. How is that going to happen? Who is going to announce it? Who? I mean, gone are the days of inconclusive election, like somebody pointed out on this platform a while back. If they fight in any unit or any ward or any local government, they will cancel the election. They will redo it. They will cancel it here. They will redo that. They will, you know what I mean? Gone are those days. It's never going to come back, ever. What you have right now is go to court. If you don't agree with the results, go to court. And when you get to court, you go meet them there. So when they now rig you out of court as well, maybe you should go and report it to God. Go to God. Go and report it to God. Or wait for another time. So every time you participate in their charade, you have lost your right, okay, to actually challenge them. And that is why people like us will never participate in their election, and I will never encourage anybody to. Even though I don't have much influence. Imagine if I have that kind of influence. Like as we are here now, let's say we have like 50,000 people watching Mayegun live, or 200,000 people. That's some influence. I was watching the what do you call it, the kickboxing game or fights on YouTube yesterday. I think it was after that of no, sorry, it was 2 days ago. So it was after during the fight between Mike Tyson and that other guy. So I was looking for that on YouTube, and I just bumped into one kickboxing game. I was like, oh my God. What? 500,000 people watching live. That is some influence. I don't know, maybe from all over the world. I don't know. How could 500,000 people be? This is not like 500,000 views. 500, as you are now on Mayegun. See, we currently have 1,300 on Mayegun's Diary Political on YouTube now, right? 1,300. Imagine if you have 130,000 live. That's some influence. I could probably maybe make some projections and say, hey, and then people will do it. But I do not really have such. Okay. So I am just going to be very straight with you. Go to court is what they will tell you. Go to court if you don't agree. Or you wait for the next 4 years. But people like us will keep telling you, once you participate in their charade, you have lost your right to question it, because if you go ahead and say they rigged you, they will say now because say you lose. How come you self no fee pay money? You self pay money. If APC they buy votes, you self go buy votes. And if they burn you well, go and collect Wala Jesheku. Go and collect Owo Lapo, Bomule Lantan, or Komule Lantan. Say you want to do election with APC, Egbekegbe. Baba, na double jeopardy. High blood pressure, plus stroke, plus all these things that will kind of affect you, Baba. You go fear. You know, peace survivor. Because they are using stolen money, public fund. The money meant for good schools, good hospitals, infrastructures here and there, roads, security, money meant for all of these things. They stole the money, impoverished the people, and then they will come back to come and share peanuts to them. 10,000, 2,000, 3,000 naira, 4,000 naira. Where are you going to go get 10 billion? I mean, 5 billion naira. Say you won't be governor, so you won't come share money. You can't share the money to everybody. Now you go announce yourself. Who are you? Who is going to announce you? That okay, the people you bought their vote, they cast the vote, and they casted the vote, and now it's in your favor. Who? But when you are not part of it, when you don't participate in their nonsense, right? Yes, they will declare themselves winner. But you see the day that everybody will now be like, oh, we have had enough. You go see, say, all this winning, all this declaration, they will evaporate like that. I mean, I'm telling you, let them run their one party states. You get? Let them run the one party. Let them enjoy it. Let them, let them feel invincible, untouchable. While the rest of you use your little resources to educate the people of what these guys are doing. So that the day you are going to call out the people, it will be that day, everything will hang. But no, because some of you said you want to replace them to further steal from the people. That's the problem. You know people more highs. All this noise about we need to fight for our country. If we don't participate, they are going to rig themselves. They are going to let them announce themselves. But majority of you cannot do without it. That is why when you shout from this part today, APC is this, APC is that. Once they rig themselves in, the majority of you want to go and join them. You say if you can't beat them, you can join them. That is why you can never take your minds away from running and contesting election with them. There is no contest. Any election where APC they participate, there is no contest. Now only validation on how they do. You are helping them to validate the fraud because they will rig you and they will tell you to go to court. Go to court. You can't go to court, can't they speak grammar like these people from Edo. There's something about APC, Ebekebe as well. They always tell you, see, they've always been like, they will tell you what they want to do before they do them. And they will do it. See, you get, APC will tell you that we are going to, and they will do it. They will do exactly what they say they will do. The rest of you have been like, we must stop APC, we must, story. They will rig. They will declare results as they want it to be. They will tell you that go to court. Listen to this Jaguda. Gandola, the Babariga mobile banking CEO of Kano. Remember him. He don't want them for Osun State now. Osun and Oyo. I don't say Unago. Say it's impossible. Don't try that with us. They don't want you already.
For that. Our next target now in this geopolitical zone, the southwest geopolitical zone, our next target, and you know we are good in hitting the target. That is Osun State and Oyo State. We assure you, we'll do all what is possible to bring them into the fold so that we have political homogeneity in the southwest geopolitical zone. Thank you.
Yeah? I know that Ajogba Fida, Ajogba Trophy, Ade Jackson, Governor Ade Dancer of Osun, he has his own paid vuvuzela on social media too. Yeah? The vuvuzelas that will tell you, Osun is a no-go area. You can continue to dream. If they want to leave Osun for you, they will leave her. All it's going to take is just for Mahmoud Yakubu and his gang to announce a result. Kilemache, nothing. Le Yawere to Edo. Una no fit Christ reach Edo people. Because APC, Ebekebe, right? As it stands, they always kind of appeal to the to the greed of a lot of you, right? Even though all of them are pretty much the same in this regard, okay? Governor Ade Dancer, Ade Jackson, Ajogba Fida of Osun, okay, is meant to be better than Thiefnubu's supposed cousin, Oletola. Now, Oletola that got chased out, that was under Bokwari. And it was more or less like you poked the eyes of Thiefnubu, the Jagabandit. Now, Thiefnubu is the president now, and is already solidifying what he believes the southern part for himself for 2027, because they don't start the race for 2027 already. Except Ade Jackson, Governor Adedansa. If Adedansa go to Abuja to go and prostrate for Koolu and say, I promise, okay, I Jesus Christ. See, I will do your. That is when you are going to have election in Oshun. Oh my God, be film trick. They warn you ahead. They are already warning you ahead. And remember, the election of Oshun is also off cycle, right? Now, so they go carry themselves again. Open a situation room for Oshun. The whole result, everything is ready. They know, like a 3 senatorial district, like they did in Edo. They will say this senatorial district. Now, Electoral get time. They say, okay, Oshun North. I'm just using an example. Oshun North. I've been at Oshun West. I've been at Oshun East. They say, okay, you know what? Now, Adedansa get Oshun West. We make sure that the election materials there is always inadequate. It won't arrive in time. The voters card there will make sure that we will tackle with that one. INEC will do that one. Then you see the Oshun North. They say, now Electoral get that one. This is not the main reality. I'm just giving you a scenario now, the way that they do them, because if it be now Adedansa, now he get Oshun North too, and Electoral get Oshun West too, or East too. Please don't use that to think I don't know what I'm talking about. Too. Don't act funny, okay? Because you know what I'm talking about. I'm just putting them in this setting, and to let you know how they do them. So if to say now Electoral get Oshun North senatorial district, the vote from Oshun North is going to be like a Gari Jebu. You get that? And then if now your sitting governor gets the West, the vote from that place is going to be like the desert in Yomadabile. You get? Then you can say, oh, you know what? Now the East go. Now he go settle the matter. And now he go draw the whole map. If Thiefnubu wants it, he's going to get it. Okay? I know that during the time of Diri, was it Diri? Hang on, when was that Diri owned? Was it this year or last year? He's not interested in Bayelsa. Milon Bayelsa. Wasn't interested in Bayelsa. So don't use Diri of Bayelsa as an example like Oshun. What Oshun is to Thiefnubu. So when you see the plan already is in motion, you people from Oyo State, the only difference is that for Oyo State, Soloma Kende Ibadan has had his 2 terms, like Oba Donkey of Edo. So even if he's, because one thing that will first tear all of our parts, which I am just projecting now, what would tear all of our parts in your 2027 drive will be when Soloma Kende Ibadan, the G-string governor, when he decided to want to nominate somebody to succeed him. Some of you in that your PDP will begin to feel like you have been shortchanged, and there is always going to be the offer. Koolu Thiefnubu's offer on the side. And Soloma Kende Ibadan would have to bite more than he can chew. And yeah, I think they have the plan sorted. And they have warned you now. And some of you who are also the avuvu sellers in these places, you are telling yourselves, it's impossible. Well, I still have the videos of my Edo people here, to the point that when they got rigged, in the middle of the night, they staged a protest in front of the collation center, then chase all of them away. If you move me, if you see, when 2 people they fight, they go say, if they boy you well, yeah, cross this part. Yeah. If you cross that part, we'll go shoot you. And those people did say, is this a democracy? This is not a democracy. We will not accept it. We will not agree to this. Yeah. Today, now the court that they wait for now. They say they are waiting for court. Court. Thiefnubu's court. To come and to remove Monday Okpebolo, the guy that is now commissioning boutique. Do you know that the first project of Okpebolo, Abina Okpebolo, is to commission a boutique in Edo, in Benin City? That's the first project. Anyway, they don't tell you now, but it's all right. If a lot of you think 2 years is still a long time, well, it is not. APC, Egbekegbe, they have a way of giving you the heads up. In Ogun State, yesterday, some of you were asking me, what about Odogbolu? What about Odogbolu? What about Odogbolu? You know what happened for Odogbolu? I didn't even know that, even though now local government elections, they said they wanted to do. I shall say money one shade. If you are from Ijebu, you will know what is called a Semo or Duoru. For Ijebu, we have a day. Let me see now. Shere Rele Reno, Igbe Obibi Okudu, Agemo Ogun, Wewe, Owarabelu, Okwe, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, Agemo Ogun, Wewe. So, okay. So we usually have around, October and early November. Usually, the first or second week of October, right? We usually have what is called Odun Asemo. That is just one day that no female, whether woman or girl, you are not allowed to come out. Because we want to do Oro or do Oro. Here you get, so that all the evil things, all the bad things in the land, we can chase them away. We can, here you get. I didn't know that they have adopted that with, they have adopted that same style in APC, when it comes to elections. They said the dubious Dapo ordered all opposition parties in Ogun State to stay indoor because they want to do elections, local government election tomorrow. Anybody that violated that will be dealt with mercilessly. A guy said it yesterday that they beat him up. People that they know themselves so for Giri. All of us know ourselves. So na carry pankere, me, you beat me with pankere. Because I did PDP, you did APC, you did beat me like this. In this country where they say well, all of us they see shege. Una they beat person like this. He was lucky. Oh, he's a lucky guy. Others are not that lucky. The guy who is the honorable member representing my own local government in the State House of Assembly, Ogun State House of Assembly, is a very known guy to me though. Lukman Adeleye, this guy is the House of Assembly member representing my local government or my constituency. Okay? About immediately they saw him outside yesterday, one kidnapper straight in it. I tell you, his whereabouts is still unknown. We don't know what they have done to him. And you know this guy, This guy. Me and I'm not to the agree per se. Here you get like now person I know one-on-one. When I say one-on-one, I don't mean like we are not close, but we are not also far apart, okay? When in Odogbolu, there was this local government chairman. Then his name is Tope Tokoya. So Tope Tokoya was the local government chairman that's the Bewiri Benga Daniel, right? Used as his own local government chairman for Odogbolu. And is, if you have to compare him to today's rogues that are now occupying local government offices in Ogun State, is actually far, far better. But then it was the worst. Then he could still do road, he could still renovate schools and all of that we were seeing. They were clearing drainages here and there and all that. But we still considered him as the worst local government chairman we've ever had. So Lukman was his PA. He was young. He just came out of Taswed then. And, Taswed just got upgraded to what's it they call them again? Taswed. So Taishulani University of Education. Anyway, Lukman knows all the court guys in that Ijebu axis. And because of that, he had that, and he's a very smart guy, like very, very smart guy. I'm not sure if he's also a courtist too or something. But Lukman back then, I'm talking about 14 years ago. Yeah, it's that far. I think it's about 14 or 15 years ago. So Lukman had this street credibility sort of, and he is a guy, okay, who knows how to, make all these guys happy. When I say make them happy, right? At the local government level, every weekend, okay, they have this money that they share at the local government. So Lukman will be, he had access to a lot of money back then. It's like having access to something like maybe 500 grand, 500,000 naira every weekend. 15 years ago, Baba, it'd be like having access to 10 million naira at the local government level every week in today's ruined Nigeria, so to say. So because of that, you see all those court boys, Ake, Alora, this one, that one, Now Lukman, they take care of them. So therefore, they are more or less loyal to him. So that makes him so kind of like influential and a bit powerful. So people like myself who has big mouth, and I know do anything. I be Jew, but I get big mouth. So they always look at me and just shake it. This one, they talk, just talk anyhow. So Lukman, as a PA to local government chairman, he wasn't just a PA, he was a supervisor. He was even given a position of a supervisor. Yeah, supervisor on youth development and sport or something like that. He did well for himself. So this was how Lukman was. So when I read it yesterday that they kidnapped him, some gunmen who said on the order of the governor, they said, don't come outside. Because last year, Lukman ran for the position of House of Assembly, finally. Last year makes it, it's like from supervisory councillor to special advisor to Ladi Adebutu, who happened to be his political godfather later in life. So the journey of, see how long it took him from being a political, sort of a political jobber to supervisory councillor. Then 15 or 14 years later, he became House of Assembly member. He ran and he won last year to defeat an APC candidate who is also very known to me. I know her very well too. Okay. So Lukman has street credibility. Who are those that will kidnap Lukman during local government election on the order of a dubious Dapo, APC governor? Until I saw what they did to his godfather, Ladi Adebutu. For those of you who should know Ladi Adebutu, he has been running, is the son of Baba Ijebu, Kesintin Adebutu Kesintin. So Ladi was also chased down by gunmen to the point that they shot his police officer because of local government elections that didn't even take place. And APC was declared winner of all the local government areas in Ogun State last night. Take a look at what happened to Ladi in front of Ladi Adebutu's house and Ladi himself.
Follow them.
Put them on video. Why you going to put them on video? I put them on the air. We get
wọ́n di mọ́ lélẹ̀ ní. Wọ́n yọ ìbọn sí ọmọ mi. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá mi wọ́n confront wọn. Nígbà tí àwọn ọmọ wọn lẹ́yìn mẹ́rin tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí yìnbọn, àwọn ọlọ́pàá wa dá ìbọn padà. Wọ́n dá ìbọn yẹn padà. Ọlọ́pàá yẹn wà lọ́sibítù sí i nítorí pé ìbọn bà á. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n yà mí lẹ́nu o ìgbà tí Nàìjíríà ti sórí kodò. Ìṣe máa ń bèrè pé kò yẹ káwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn wá ń ta ní ọjọ́ election. Ṣé ọmọ mi kò bá wá ń ta káwọn mẹ́rin yẹn yìnbọn pàdánù ni? Kọ̀ọ̀kan kẹ́wọ̀n ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá kó máa wá èèyàn mẹ́rin tó ń gbébọn kiri lọ́jọ́ election. Wọ́n sọ pé kí ló dé tí àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó láti máa wà níta gbangba lọ́jọ́ election. Wọ́n sórí ìlú yìí, wọ́n sọ kodò. Kọ́ bá mi wá èèyàn mẹ́rin tó gbébọn tó kọ́kọ́ gbébọn tó ń yìnbọn kiri ẹ̀ kó yẹ kọ́ bá mi wá wọn jáde. Wọ́n sọ yẹn nídìí èyẹn ló wá wá bí ló wá fi ọlọ́pàá dé mi mọ́lé pé dàpọ̀ ní kó wá mú èmi wá. Ṣùgbọ́n mo ní pé kọ́kọ́ wọnú compound wá mú mi kọ́kọ́ lọ gba warrant wá ná. Kọ́ lọ gba warrant wá kó tó wá mú mi fògiri wọlé. Tó bá wọlé illegal èmi náà máa bá ọ ṣe illegal. Nítorí èmi náà ní fundamental human right. Ṣé níbi tó ọ̀rọ̀ yìí lọ yìí mélòó wá kú ẹnì jogún? But the truth of it is, if you don't allow people to pursue their rights legitimately, they will start to seek those rights illegitimately. No joke on me.
That is what the local government election is in that contraption. It's going to be gun for gun, fire for fire, and all of that. And I hope they will release Lukman, because at least they have declared the APC winner of all of the local government, the 20 local government areas, and over 200 wards. So APC councillors, APC chairmen, so they shouldn't kill anyone if they haven't killed people already. Dubious Dapo. Dapo no fee be madder than Amosun Shao. Because Amosun mental, like Amosun craze. One thing is that Dapo is from Ekperu, Ladi is from Ekperu. They are both from the same place. And somehow, they want to kill themselves. I mean, one want to kill the other. Ladi has been trying to be governor for like forever. He was once a House of Representative member. And I didn't even know, like, you know, none of them is different too. Let me be honest with you. Here you get, in my state, majority of their supporters, they will make them sleep inside coffin. Sometimes they will put them before these make-up fake shrines because they wanted to give them 50,000, 100,000. So loyalty to politicians in my own state, Ogun. I don't know about your state, oh. In my state, is not from the heart. Oh. I have been there. When Buruji Kashamu was alive, the man that introduced the swearing for loyalty into the politics of Ogun State, it was never like pronounced this much. But this same laddie and others like him. They will put money on the table, but you would have to go and swear that you are going to be loyal to them. You understand? So they are not really different. It's just like a dog eats dog of a thing. I don't know about other places, but like what's called dubious Dapo. Hey, Dapo is one of the ROS of those who are, helping the APC to ride on the roughshod of this illegitimacy, illegality, election rigging, manipulation, and all of that across Nigeria as we speak. So he sees himself as a mafia. I mean, mafia too. He's probably a mafia because somebody that participated in robbing Nigeria during the Goodluck Ebere Jonathan's time. And when Jonathan was about to jail him, they launched what was called Occupy Nigeria. Yeah, 2012. Occupy Nigeria. And today, now Jonathan, Jonathan is the one outside power, out of power. They are the ones in power now. Aiding Oil was one of the entities fingered in the subsidy scam, running into hundreds of millions of dollars that they took from Nigeria that Jonathan wanted to probe at the time. And they led to Occupy Nigeria, and everything they protested against at the time, they have done worse now. Because they are now the ones in power. Yes, it's a shaman. Stay there for jail. Politician way they prove don't enter for power.
The FCC chairman stay there for jail. Politician way they prove don't enter for power. EFCC chairman still there for jail. Politician way in the prove don't enter for power. EFCC chairman still there for jail. Politician way in the prove don't enter for power. EFCC chairman still there for jail. Politician way in the prove don't enter for power. If you do government work, you go carry am for head, you. Maka one day, I got Bokwagi, Nama. In another government, you hear why one day more, every one day, I got Boggy, Nama. Yes, the German, no day for jail. Politician way in the program and
power. That's exactly similar thing that happened in Nasarawa. Nasarawa is a small state, not far from Abuja. And somebody who happened to be the special advisor to the governor on infrastructural development can't enter Nigeria, man. Chai. There is God, oh. Somebody who is a special advisor to governor on infrastructural development has been arrested for stealing rail track, other infrastructures that they have vandalized. Vandals who are stealing government, the public structure, right? Infrastructure. Those who are, they arrested the special advisor to governor on infrastructure, a foolish advisor. God damn it, man. It's unbelievable. If they explain Nigeria to a stranger, I swear he go lose his mind. Say, what are you talking about? Well, this happened.
This was not the first time railway tracks and sleepers are vandalized and suspected vandals arrested in Nasarawa State. But what made the recent arrest to be different are the caliber of personalities involved. Parading the suspect before journalists, the Nasarawa State Police Commissioner Bola Longe said apart from the special advisor to the state governor, Yusuf Mada, other suspects that include a Chinese national, Mata Chai, police sergeant attached to the State Criminal Investigation Department in Lafia, Mali Peter, a personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ibrahim Amegwa Usman, and a legal practitioner, Nathaniel Oba, who offered 600,000 naira cash to bribe police to secure the release of his client, were also apprehended.
Criminal elements have turned the Nigerian railway tracks that traverse some major cities and villages in Nasarawa State en route to Benue to gold mines, where they vandalize and cut away rail tracks / sleepers. The following suspects were arrested: Samuel Asoloko, a personnel of the Nigerian Legion; Yusuf Abubakar Musa, a.k.a. Yusuf Mada, special advisor to the governor of Nasarawa State on infrastructure; Inspector Richard Joseph, attached to State Criminal Investigation Department, is a police officer; Mali Peter, attached to State Criminal Investigation Department, Lafia; Ibrahim Amagawa Usman, a personnel of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps.
He said the suspect had been in the illegal business for long, but luck ran out of them when the command alerted on their activities and mobilized for their arrest. In an interview, the Nasarawa State Governor's aide, Yusuf Mada, denied being aware of the items sold to him were vandalized, while the Chinese national explained that this was not the first time.
If they explain Nigeria to you and you know go crazy, I swear they don't explain anything to you. They just lie to you. Sometimes you just like, what? Is that possible? Yeah, it is possible. Crazy things happen in that place. Like crazy things. Yeah. Special advisor to governor on infrastructure, police officer, NSCDC, Chinese contractor. Everybody work hand in hand. If they are not caught, they are all businessmen making some money on the side. And when you talk about the destruction of Nigeria, they probably will have their own voice and tell you that, well, this country, these people are so corrupt. These people are so like some of us are doing on this social media. You know, everybody is like, okay. And the politicians are the bad ones, like consensus. We have a consensus. The politicians are the bad ones. Me and you, we are just good people in a bad country until you are caught. Until you are caught. Until you. I know, I'm just saying. Because Nigeria is a place where people have normalized abnormalities. And if you do so much expose, they will then come for you. Leave that one. Let us talk about that one. Leave this one. Leave this. Talk about the other one. Cherry picking. It's an unbelievable place. Sincerely. Crazy things happen in that place. So if those who should possibly protect the public are the ones vandalizing and destroying the same space, people that are supposed to protect my own interest, your own interest, they are actually the ones sabotaging it. So who are we going to turn to? Man, leave that one right here. Is this 2004 WikiLeak cable that was pretty much on how the successive regimes in Nigeria, the government, have been using the media, the conventional media or legacy media, the religious leaders in the north, in the south, to further sort of hoodwink their citizens over time. So I'm going to read it in parts. See you. This one is the WikiLeaks and the public library, okay? So I'm going to read, like I said, I'm going to read it in parts, and you can follow me, because that is where I'm going to possibly like add my own jara to it. This is Nigeria, okay? And this was Americans in Nigeria reporting back to Washington all the information they gathered across Nigeria. This may read like an article. It is not an article. This was supposed to be a classified, what have you, but it is no longer classified. It is no longer state secret or anything. It is just so you have an idea of how the Americans have been spying on Nigeria and indeed making up their foreign policy based on all this information that have been provided them. I have not seen any Nigeria ambassador to America, okay, sharing information on. I haven't seen one. Oh, this is what makes it interesting, okay? America does this everywhere because that's how they relate with people. That's how they form their, intrusive policies for different countries. They may sound like simple information, but they are not, okay? So this is how they kind of like invade countries to also realize if this country is for them or if they are not for them. The people, their culture, tradition, their institutions, and all of that stuff. So they send all these reports back to Washington every now and then through a classified cable that is not supposed to be in public. But thanks to WikiLeaks that got this out, and they forced the hand of the American government to also say, okay, you know what? Well, fine, let them see it. At least this is fair for the public consumption, okay? But to us, it is going to serve as a bit of a material, education material here. So Nigeria is Africa's most, this is one of the ambassadors reporting back to Washington, okay, way back in 2004, right? And Ambassador, what's his name again? Ambassador, I think is Jester or something. Anyway, public diplomacy influence analysis in Nigeria, okay? Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation with approximately 130 million people. The country has access to a complex array of media, both foreign and domestic, electronic and print, as well as growing use of the internet. This was 20 years ago, by the way. Nigerian public figures and opinion leaders utilize and are influenced by all forms of media and communication systems. That said, electronic media are most pervasive in Nigerian society and have the strongest reach to mass audiences. A BBC survey of Nigerians estimated that 70% of people get their news from radio, 20% from television, and 10% from newspapers. Given the high reliance on electronic forms of media, the Nigerian government has been reluctant to give up its control of national and state level radio and television network stations. This is what the internet or social media finally broke, and we have taken that away from them now, okay? Private radio and television stations, though limited to certain geographic markets, continue to make inroads against government media outlets. The government has largely ceded the print media to the private sector, which has a surprisingly high number of daily and weekly newspapers competing for a comparatively small readership. Internet access is growing in Nigeria, although it is often used to misinform as well as inform public opinion. Given the high degree of government control in the media, press independence remains a work in progress. Thus, Nigerians rely heavily on foreign media outlets, especially BBC, Voice of America, DW, Germany's Deutsche Welle International Broadcaster Station, and CNN. So no wonder a lot of them are always repeating what CNN have said in America, though. You know, a lot of the elite in Nigeria, they watch CNN for information about world news, and secondarily, Nigerian news. Aware of the popularity of foreign media that derives mainly from decades of military rule and lack of confidence in Nigerian government media, Nigerian officials worry about foreign media influence in Nigeria and have voiced their displeasure over BBC, VOA, and CNN reports and tried to limit use of BBC and VOA, Voice of America broadcast by domestic broadcasters. Recently, the National Broadcasting Commission forbade the direct rebroadcast of foreign news by Nigerian affiliate stations. This measure does not affect Nigerian audiences who receive BBC, VOA, DW, CNN, or other foreign broadcasts via satellite television or shortwave radio. These are the elites, Nigerian elite. They usually listen to Voice of America, CNN, and that is why some of them, even till today, you cannot convince them otherwise about what the world politics is now, because they grew up, rich people, a lot of them, decades of listening to political debates, conversation on CNN, conversation on Voice of America and all these places, right? So if you now kind of tell them that they are so wrong about so many things, they will tell you that, what do you know about American politics? I've been following American politics for 40 years, for 30 years. Echo shit down. American politics kill you there. And the old nonsense that you have been fed with anyway. So yeah, for foreign radio broadcasters, right? So hey, again, also, this is part of the conditioning of the black people, especially this supposed elites in Nigeria, that makes a lot of them so selfish, so self-centered, Americanized, westernized, and they have no real value about who they are, where they are. Until today, they do not even have anything called Nigerianness in them, something you can call patriotism. That is why majority of them are, they and their children, some of their children, elite children, who also grew up during that era, right? They have always been looking forward to America, Britain. Here you get. Today, they have no patriotism to that contraption, unfortunately. That's true. But let's continue, right? Just follow me, follow me. For foreign radio broadcasters, Nigeria represents two distinct audiences, divided largely by language and geography. Roughly half of Nigeria's population lives in northern Nigeria, speaks Hausa as a first language, or uses Hausa as a second language or lingua franca. This group is predominantly Muslim, while southern Nigeria is largely English-speaking and Christian. While many southern Yorubas are also Muslims, Islamic scholars and Nigerians Muslims themselves make a clear distinction between Yoruba Muslims and those from the north. Thus, BBC and Voice of America have English as well as Hausa language programs to cover northern audiences, while English programming is more popular in the south. The current political differences between the government and main opposition party based in northern Nigeria sharpen the divide, and northern media frequently criticize the southwest-based media for the latter's poor understanding of the north. In Nigeria, however, it is important to distinguish between how people receive news and information and how they ultimately arrive at conclusions regarding that information. There are also differences between how elites process information and the effective strategies to influence elite opinion, and how average Nigerians get their information and formulate opinions. US government to Nigerian government influence, US government to Nigerian government influence strategies are only partially successful in Nigeria, as Nigerian public officials are very dependent on the opinions of other African government officials and voices from the non-allied movement. For contentious issues between the US government and Nigeria, we should look to respected intermediaries and messengers who are held in high esteem by Nigerian officials, either distinguished African American leaders or other African officials who enjoy access in Nigeria. Regardless of what they hear from the media, average Nigerians place great stock in the opinion of local, religious, and traditional leaders, and can be influenced by both positively and negatively by such people. In both the North and South, traditional and religious leaders play an increasingly important role as one moves away from urban centers and as literacy levels decline. End introduction. I'm going to say something there. Apart from the fact that the elites in Nigeria over the years have had their opinions shaped by the type of information that they have been accessed. I mean, they have been able to access, right? This information that have been rolled out to these Nigerians, they are also different in the North, as they are different to what they give them in the South. And that is why a lot of us from the Southern Nigeria, our opinion about the North is so different to what it is actually in the North. And most of this opinion of ours about the North is based on the information that we have been made to have access to, right from our elites and then to other mediums that we've been getting our information. For example, we were told that the northern Nigeria is more populated than the southern part of Nigeria, which is not true. But for years, all information that we have been exposed to has been in that regard, I mean, in that way, to make us believe that because the what do you call it? The landmass of the northern Nigeria, which we all believe is one, when it is not. There is a part called the middle belt part of Nigeria. It is the biggest part of Nigeria, not the northern Nigeria. The Sharia North, which is the core North, is not even up to the half of the entire southern part of Nigeria, so to say. But media has fed our elites the type of information we have been given access to. They've made us believe so much that, in fact, to the point that they made us believe that whatever the North is not in support of, it will never sail through in Nigeria. But thanks to Bokwari, that finally kind of made everybody realize who they are and be able to identify where they belong. The middle belt part of Nigeria have now distinguished themselves and continue to remind all of us that they are not northern Nigeria. In geography, it is generally believed that the North may be big, but it's always sparsely populated than the South, which is more habitable. All over the world, it's the same. Even in this part of the world. See, I live in Scotland. Scotland is northern part of Britain. We are the north of Britain. It is colder, is believed, very cold in this part than it is in the south. The south is England. And England is more populated than the north. But when you begin to go to the upper north of this country, right, you will see expanse of land in such a way that, but the population is very little because of the weather. But it is in Nigeria that they have been using politics, right, to say the north, Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, no, not even Kaduna, like northern Kaduna, northern Adamawa, Yobe, Borno, all these places, including northern Niger, not the whole of Niger. These are the north. When you come to the southern Kaduna, southern Adamawa, southern Niger, and you start coming down to Benue, Plateau, Benue, Kogi, and all these areas, right? You begin to come down. You will begin to see the increase in population. But they have deceived us so long. America knows that. So America felt like, you know what? We will need to, because these people, somehow, it doesn't matter the medium of information. They are traditional rulers. Whatever their traditional ruler says to them, they tend to trust what they say. Whatever their religious leader tells them. In northern Nigeria, in southern Nigeria, the same templates. They were using religion as well as the traditional institutions. So both institutions, right? The traditional institutions and then the religious institution as well, right? In the south, Christians. Now, the teachings of Islam to the Southerners who are Muslims is different from the type of teachings they give to them up north who are Muslims. The orientation, the mindset, the whole conditioning, they are two different settings. And it's deliberate. It's just to actually make sure that somehow, they maintain that control. Not just the media way of formulating the, shaping the mind of the people, which they have succeeded. A lot of the people watching me today, they were watching CNN. Today, some of them don't like CNN anymore. It was a class thing, right? In northern Nigeria, they love BBC Hausa. BBC Hausa. And every other Hausa radio channel, radio stations and all that, because of the type of information they are giving to them. And they indoctrinated them that way. Their elites are pretty much exposed to the DW of Germany, as well as, because they also were rendering things in Hausa. The religion that is now the opium of the poor in Nigeria today. The whole social conditioning, the whole programming, they have come a long way. Now, social media can't break them up. And that's why we are now battling. It's like the new fighting the old. Okay? To unlearn what you have learned back then is like a war. The war of idea or the war of ideology today. I'm going to read more. This is America reporting back, American ambassador, America in Nigeria, reporting back to Washington to find a way. And so, when we said that Thiefnubu is a CIA agent, as they confirmed, right? It's not only Thiefnubu, some of your religious leaders, your pastors, your GOs, your imam, your sheikh, majority of them are also assets of this foreign interest in order to get to you and push their agenda on us over time. Here. So the media environment in Nigeria. This was during Obasanjo's time, by the way, just so you know, right? The media environment in Nigeria is remarkably complex, with sharp north-south differences. In both the north and south, however, radio remains the means by which most Nigerians hear news. Nigerian radio broadcasting was totally government-controlled at the federal and state levels until September 1994. When the National Broadcasting Corporation approved the first private radio station with digitized studios, Western-style programming, and a 24-hour-a-day format, Ray Power 100 FM quickly became the most popular radio station in Lagos and its environs. Between mid-1996 and 1999, 7 new private radio stations were established. These independent radio and television, ITV. These include Minaj Radio in the east, Benin City-based independent radio and television ITV, Lagos-based Redeem 93.7 Koolu FM, Redeem 93.7 Koolu FM, Star FM, and Ray Power 2 FM, which BBC sponsored. The federal government approved licenses for 16 radio stations in 2002. A new opposition party, ANPP, founded radio station, Freedom Radio, began operations in Kano in early 2004. As with television, independent radio stations lack national coverage and are mostly regionally based. In addition, the government of Nigeria sponsors the Voice of Nigeria, VON, which broadcasts news and feature stories about Nigeria within the country as well as outside Nigeria to neighboring West African nations and South Africa, where many Nigerians live. The government regulates the national television airwaves through the National Broadcasting Corporation, NBC, a nominally independent body. The federal government-owned National Television Authority, NTA network operates stations in the state capitals and has 2 autonomous stations in Lagos. In 1993, the NBC approved licenses for 14 independent broadcasters. By 1996, however, only 8 broadcasters were in operation, and the other 6 licenses were revoked. The NTA is the only national television broadcasting operation. Minaj and AIT Ray Power are popular independent television stations, but do not have national coverage. Galaxy TV is popular in Lagos and Ibadan, while Channels TV in Lagos is also a critically acclaimed independent station with a largely southwestern following. Commercially, NTA, AIT, Minaj, and Channels are available within Africa via satellite, while AIT and Minaj broadcasts may be received by US and British satellite subscribers. The print media sector is the most competitive and varied in Nigeria, with more than 20 national English language newspapers and a half-dozen weekly news magazines. State-owned newspapers continue to face financial problems and competition from the national dailies. Most have either gone under or are produced sporadically. Those that remain are publicity vehicles for the state government. Despite the large number of papers competing for newsstand space and readership, circulation figures for newspapers are low, less than 100,000 per paper and many less than 25,000, with combined circulation figures at roughly 750,000, a low figure for a country whose total population is estimated at 130 million. Most Nigerians live on less than $1 per day and cannot afford to spend half of that on a newspaper. In urban areas in particular, many people share newspapers, read them at newsstands without purchasing them, or discuss news stories on public transport. Now, regional media differences, the North and the South. In the North, radio is particularly important in reaching large audiences, and the Hausa language broadcasts are very popular. Both Nigerian and foreign stations, BBC, VOA, DW inclusive, have large listenership. A recent VOA survey indicates that the BBC leads in the northern radio market with 53.9%. Voice of America has 44.7% of the market, while DW has 36%. Note, many people listen to more than one station. End note. Because of the North's relative low literacy rates and lack of development, television, especially English language broadcasts, does not yet reach large audiences. But satellite broadcasts, not only BBC and CNN, but Arabic language stations from the Middle East, reach and influence the elite. Cable television subscriptions, bringing international stations to Nigerian viewers by satellite, have become more important in affluent communities, including in the North. In addition to CNN, BBC, MTV, and other commercial movie channels, Nigeria's cable providers bundle free Arabic channels, courtesy of Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Libya, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates, into the channel mix. ABG and MG Satellite Communications are northern Nigeria's main cable distributors for the Arabic channels. While radio reaches the widest audiences in the South, radio is viewed as an entertainment media as much as a news source, with FM and AM stations playing a wide variety of music forms. Higher education levels and more urbanized populations make television important for influencing southern elites and middle-class Nigerians. But television is largely non-existent for average citizens in villages. Many private television stations replay BBC or CNN news stories of international events. Newspapers are also more readily available in the Southwest, since most are printed there, and Northerners view most of the Southern papers as ethnically biased. Two Northern-focused internet sites, such as www.almizanfaithweb.com and www.gamg.com, have elite followings, meaning their influence reaches far beyond the few individuals who have direct access to the internet. These opinions are constantly reprinted in newspapers or made reference to in op-ed policy debates. The Gamji site has a cult following and has become very influential with northern intellectuals, labor leaders, northern Muslim Christian youth activists, NGO, and student groups. Issues discussed are far-ranging but substantially anti-US, including events in the Middle East, September 11, and the war against terror. The South has no similar geographic, ethnically focused websites. Users log on to allafrica.com. I used to love that, allafrica.com, by the way, or the CNN and BBC website for international online news. That was me. I was a very ardent follower of the allafrica.com. That's how I got to know a lot about Africa, by the way. African news, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ghana, Gambia, Lesotho, and all those places. That's how I got to know a lot. I won't lie. There maybe once in a while, BBC and CNN too. This was 20 years ago. Like the South, northern newspapers are not the primary source of news for average Nigerians, but they do have some sway among intellectuals and political opinion leaders. Two more prominent papers are Hausa publications, Gaskiya and Al-Mizan. Gaskiya ta fi kwabo, truth is better than money, is owned by a consortium of northern state governments. This sister newspaper to the New Nigerian is the oldest Hausa language newspaper in northern Nigeria. For 64 years, Gaskiya has reflected a pro-north, anti-west focus. Circulation is estimated at 50,000. Al-Mizan is a radical Islamic Hausa weekly paper that strongly communicates anti-American views and advocates an Islamic state, sold for less than the other papers. It is published in Zaria on Friday, and it is characteristically sold to Friday mosque congregations. Total prints run in 12,000, but estimated readership is over 60,000. The newspaper is also available on the internet through www.faithweb.com. Al-Mizan is influential with radical Muslim youth. Its founder and publisher is an Ahmadu Bello University-trained economist and student of the Iranian Revolution, Sheikh El-Zakzaki. Two English dailies, the New Nigerian and the Daily Trust, are also published in the North. The New Nigerian is managed by northern state governments and adheres to a pro-government editorial line, while the Independent Trust follows a strong anti-American, anti-West policy. Circulation for both papers is estimated to be similar to that of the Hausa papers. Similar to the North, many of the southern papers and broadcasting stations are owned by politicians and or Nigerian businessmen interested in establishing a platform by which to express their views. Many operate in the red and are supported by the owners, other business concerns. Some southern papers have established partnership and use materials from abroad. The Financial Times contributes about 1/3 of Business Day's material. The Sun, a tabloid paper featuring gossip, sport, and some news stories, mirrors the Sun of London. Local language and ethnically based papers are important in the South. The Champion is published in Lagos and is a barometer of Igbo opinion. The Yoruba language Alaroye is seen as the leading medium that reaches villages and the urban poor in the Southwest. Alaroye is also loosely affiliated with a Yoruba radio station to increase its impact. Both the paper and the radio station appeal to English-speaking elites in the Southwest. And the viewpoints run from neutral to pro-American. 13. Aside from traditional media, a broad category of other information sources also includes the influential teachings in the mosques, churches, Sunday schools, and Islamic schools. Some of the opinions in circulation come from visiting scholars and clerics and are a particular source of influence in an increasingly illiterate northern Nigeria. There is a sector of the sponsored pro-Islamic information sources with grassroots influence that is primarily religious and anti-US in character. Some of them, especially the pro-Islamic sponsored literature, pamphlets, and handbills, exploit the Hausa language to build a large readership. Internet chat groups are also influential with the elite and political class. In terms of direct third country influence, both Iran and Saudi Arabia are of note. Iran's efforts are formally aimed at spreading the Shia form of Islam in local Quranic schools and Muslim populations. Publications are part of an effort that includes placing teachers in Quranic schools and study groups in Iran. The target for Saudi Arabia's efforts are Islamic clerics, Islamic scholars, and the academic community. Like the Iranian sponsorship, the Saudi effort includes scholarships for study at King Abdulaziz University in Saudi Arabia. Christian organizations in the South are a large force for mobilizing crowds, but are not generally viewed as political actors. Parishes actively discourage political messages. A major source of Southern information, but not necessarily influence on the US, comes from relatives living in the States. With the majority of the students and immigrants to the US coming from the South, Southerners are well connected to the US. So who matters? And the MPP. The political class is influential, but the Nigerian president makes the critical decisions. A top political party leaders, religious leaders, labor leaders, traditional rulers, youth organizations, and academics have varying levels of influence in the government's decision-making. The military, although under civilian control, still retains significant influence, and Muslim clerics are the most influential in northern Nigeria. Journalists are important in informing the public and mobilizing public opinion, but have little direct influence as individuals. So, global health. Opinion leaders include government health workers, NGOs, and other donors, and normal US government influence channels tend to be effective. Nigeria recently witnessed, however, the strength of northern religious and political leaders in setting back the polio vaccination campaign through the spread of misinformation in a number of northern states. Anti-US Nigerian media supported this effort. Our ability to directly influence such people is extremely limited. The polio issue underscored that a largely illiterate population is more influenced by local leadership than by mass media. While the mission suggested respected health officials from the other Islamic countries as possible interlocutors, there remains concern over the utility political neutrality of such people. On HIV/AIDS, here exists cooperation and willingness, blah, 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 blah. Anti-terrorism. Key personnel in this arena are the Nigerian security services, including military, police, and intelligence officials. Nigerian political culture does not and is unlikely to support international terrorism within Nigeria. Even other Muslim politicians, many of whom have a military background, would not see it in their interest to support a fundamentalist Islamic state, despite paying lip service to Sharia implementation in the north. For them, identification with Islam is a political means to gaining power, money, and the patronage that comes from political power. All three groups remain outside the influence of the independent media to a large degree. The military are keen to perceived as superior among African militaries and have a tradition of international cooperation or interaction with other militaries. The Nigerian police, who traditionally have worked to maintain the political status quo rather than protect Nigerian citizens, are also interested in cultivating a more professional image and increasingly looking outward for support. The intelligence services see cooperation with the US far outweighing non-cooperation on issues relating to terrorism. All groups are amenable to official channels of US government influence in this area. Democratic system, you can go on and on. I'll copy the link. It's almost finished, right? I'll copy the link. I'll just leave it there for you if you want to read it, if you want to read more. Okay? So it's mostly about influence, control, and all of that. And as for US, they simplified who controls who, and then for which of them is in the interest of America. Check the comments, you'll see the link, copy it and read more, okay? So when it comes to the religious leaders, the political leaders, the traditional leaders, and the type of information they keep giving everyone from the north to the south, and you can easily tell the social conditioning, right? This type of social conditioning that they have sort of prepared us for over, for decades. And then what the internet, not just the internet, what the social media has done to break that chain of limitation, where today we have generation of Nigerians that are now challenging, not just in the South, okay, even in the North. In the North right now, we have a generation of young people that are challenging the clerics, that they are like challenging their emirs and their sultan, okay, on the old beliefs and all this stuff that they have been fed with, or their own parents were fed with. Today, they are resisting. There's this level of resistance that is actually really going on in that contraption today, where the religious leaders are being called out, challenged. That never used to be the case. So over time, all these foreign interests, Iran, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, in northern Nigeria, they have given scholarship to northerners. They have given scholarship to supposed teachers from northern Nigeria, so that they can come back and push their agenda. Look at that Zazaki. The Zazaki guy was like, okay, let me put it this way now. It's like Mayegun. You see what I'm doing right now? Doing my own teachings and all of that. If I get influenced, let's say by Britain, and they pump money into my hand and I started a movement, a kind of, I can call it, we call ourselves the Temple of Truth, right? So I can just formulate one idea that is going to say whether you are a Muslim, on Mayegun's diary, political is like a melting pot. It doesn't matter where you come from in Nigeria. You can find solace here if you are looking for truth about what is going on, right? And if you want to unlearn what you have been, what you have been programmed to believe, on Mayegun's diary, political. So if I get influenced, for example, by Britain, I can just cement this and say, you know what? We are going to call ourselves the Temple of Truth. And I'm going to call you the Templars. People who are not against Muslim, against Christian, we're just like what people with, open mind. Okay? And then the next thing, I can just start opening schools or funding this or funding that, left, right, and center. The money will be coming from Britain. That's exactly what El Zazaki was. El Zazaki was publishing, it was a, what do you call it? A publisher. No, is it called a publisher or, publisher. He had a newspaper where he was like writing about religious, this, religious, that, the Shia kind of Muslim. They are called the Shiites today. So when El Zazaki started, it was practically like, in a big way. Today, it's got more than 2-3 million followers. Beyond Zaria, that is, is sort of located, right? It's getting its funding from Iran. All this Iranian ideology of Islam, the Shia type of Islam, is what El Zazaki, after gaining the interest of his, his followers who are reading his, all of you who they follow Mayegun. Oh, I love Mayegun. I love Mayegun so much. Oh, I this, and that. And boom. I just kind of like bump into some huge amount of money. And then I started opening Temple of Truth Center, Lagos, where I can just fly down. All of you, not just listen to me on Mayegun's diary political, but I'm seated in this big hall. Okay? And it's filled with thousands of people. Maybe like 2,000 or 3,000, like outside everywhere filled up. And I'm seated there doing this talk I am doing right now, not on social media, though it is now internet based, like everybody is now on social media now. But just imagine like 20 years ago, I started small media outlets. All of you are reading, you are loving my articles, my opinions, and all of that stuff. Then boom, they just give me some money. You don't have to know that. You just think that, oh, I love his preaching. I love Mayegun so much. So you don't have to log in to see me on social media. Just come to my center in Lagos or come to my center in Ogun State, where I've built a big, massive center. Okay? And I'm talking about the bad in the society, how government is this and that, and all of that. We must stand together. We must stand up. We must fight for our rights. We must, And you don't know that it's the Britain or even it's America that's giving me all the millions of dollars to fund that. That's exactly what El Sasaki was. And there are many, many like him there. What's that guy's name? Sheikh Osama bin Gumi, his father. You see, his father, Sheikh Osama bin Gumi's father, was also like that too. So that was how Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, UAE, United Arab Emirates, and so many like that. That's how they were pumping money into Nigeria, northern Nigeria, pushing their different kind of Islam there. And those who they were giving the money to, not only that, they were also giving scholarship to northerners to come to our university in Saudi Arabia, come to university in Iraq. When you look at some of these, they are cleric in northern Nigeria. Some of them Sheikh Osama bin Gumi was a lecturer in Saudi Arabia. They sent him away from Saudi because of his terrorism sort of approach to Islam. True story. They gave him, he was living in Saudi Arabia as a lecturer. This Sheikh Osama bin Gumi in Nigeria. But he said his idea is extremist ideology is anti-Islam. So they chased him away. They banned him from coming to Saudi Arabia. And he is a leader in Nigeria today. He's got his own mosque, like his father. Okay? Teaching them this type of Islam that he think people should follow. That's why he's telling you that the terrorists that are killing people in Nigeria, okay, the Nigerian government should never go after them the way they are going after them. So the point I'm making here is this. Majority of the things that we grew up knowing, and we thought they were just like in our interest. They were never in our own interest. We're lucky in southern part of Nigeria. But one thing is that those who are like Christians and all of them, right? They also got their own sponsorship from America, from Britain. Okay? To push pro-Western, pro-Western ideology. So you might look today and say, well, I mean, that was in our interest. No, it wasn't. That too was just to kind of socially condition us in such a way that if they tell you that Britain is exploiting you, Britain is stealing your resources, Britain, our America, they are supporting your criminal leaders in such a way, you are still going to defend them. Do you get that now? I mean, you are going to. I live in Britain right now. The reason why I would choose Britain and not choose Saudi Arabia, the reason why I would choose America and not choose Iraq is because I was raised to believe in pro-Western ideologies. So, majority of all of us became today were influenced by some of the information we were exposed to that some of us probably never even consciously or subconsciously even like ever thought of. The same way you are going to talk about America is still better. Britain is skinny corn, and the way they will say, oh yeah, choose between Iraq, Iran, America, and UK. Choose one. A Southerner will choose America, UK. No matter any prejudice he has against America or UK, he will still choose there. He won't choose Iraq. He won't choose Iran. Similarly, somebody in Kano, somebody in Kaduna, in Borno, whose orientation and exposure is to those places, will tell you that you don't know what you are talking about. They will prefer to go to Iran. They will prefer to go to Iraq. They will prefer to go to Saudi Arabia. So the bottom line is this. We are getting to the era where some of these things, they are going to lose all their value and control over us. They will. It may take time. Sure, you get now. It may take time. But eventually, you see all those ideas of, I am a Yoruba man, and I want to stand and fight for Yoruba interest. I am not a Nigerian. I don't want to be a Nigerian. You see, those ideology, those feelings, with time, is going to come to be. Maybe it's not going to be so strong in my own lifetime, but as things are going now, people are going to go back to go and question some of these things. Here you get. And this Nigeria is going to cease. Here you get now. It's going to cease. Like, you won't have this Nigeria anymore. You are going to get to a stage where you're going to realize that this whole thing is just made up. And it is not in your interest somehow. So what would then now be your interest? It would now be the real you, which is who you are, where you come from. All this identity crisis that you are witnessing left, right, and center, right? Is because the whole creation of this Nigeria is a ruse that with time, with this social media, is going to, it's already kind of outliving its relevance. So they are all, it's just that the leftover of those who are the product of the fake one Nigeria, right? They are already phasing out. They are finishing. So before you know it, you will see Northerners that will realize that there is actually nothing in this contraption for them per se than what they were told. So once they realize that, they will stop fighting for this one Nigeria. You will stop fighting for it. Okay? And everybody will begin to actually fight for their true identity in such a way that you won't care what America feels, what Britain feels anymore. It's going to be about what do you think? Do you want to be part of this contraption still? Or you rather have your clear identity where you speak your own language, where you have, your own country in such a way that you will stop fighting for this. That's the point. So everything where we see today, which is now like a battle of the old and new, that is just to let you know that we're conditioned to see them this way. They used a lot of factors here. The traditional rulers, the religious leaders, the politicians, the media, this and that, to influence what we have today. Since they have already messed the whole thing up now, they can't sustain it. I can assure you of that. So if Nigeria is still going to exist in another 20 or 50 years' time, right? It's not going to be this Nigeria that you see today. It won't be this forced together one Nigeria you are seeing today. Because a lot of people would have discovered so much to realize how far apart we are. Even though we're supposed to be so, you get, even the old messages they give to them in the north, the one they give to us in the south, there were messages that ordinarily shouldn't have kept us together. But the division so far is just so that we won't see that difference. So if you don't agree with the north and don't agree with the south, in this way, it works for the political class. It works for the America, it works for Britain and other people who have interest in Nigeria. It works for them. Because the fear of, if we break up, we are going to lose. Or if they break up, they are going to gain. So the criminal politicians who have been benefiting from all of this, it works for them. But it's going to get to a point where everybody will discover that. They will realize that this Nigeria is not working for anybody. No matter what, if somebody is asking you to pray for Nigeria, and in the north, they're asking you to pray for your leaders. So later, everybody will realize that they are actually asking you to pray for the sustenance of the bottle of these criminals. It's not because of yourselves. So once you realize that, the north realizes it, the south realizes it, the middle belt realizes it. So what will happen next is that we're just going to be like, you know what? Break it up to save lives. There's so much you need to read. All of us need to read to kind of know how we arrive at where we are and how much of this, it's not just the politicians that are the assets of the West, including the religious class. A lot of them are compromised. And the intention is, it's like a fight between the Arabs and the West over who is going to rule over Nigeria. Here you get now. Let's see who is going to take over. Is it going to be Islam? Or is it going to be the Christianity? And for 60 years, they've not been able to move a needle in a sack. They've just subjected the people from both sides to perpetuity of poverty, suffering. That's what I see in it all. While the Americans, the British, and all other, the Arabs, they've all been sort of just cashing out, while the inhabitants of the contraption have been paying with their blood. So one day, for now, we still have generation of those who were fed, overfed with all these lies, conditioning, propaganda, and all of these beliefs. They are still alive. Some of them are still here. So it's so hard for them to let go. And that is why we are where we are. So thank you so much for listening. So I think I was going to take calls. Do you think we should take calls, or we should just kind of just go to bed to go and digest all of this and start our week tomorrow? Let's put it to a vote. Take calls or go to bed. Right. So the first person said we should take calls. So anyone to counter that? Okay, let's take calls, okay? Good enough that we are not so many. That means you have a chance of adding your own views to this, okay? So I will be back in a minute or two. But remember, the segment of us taking calls is sponsored by the Ya Rasulallah's Digital. Okay, if you haven't really checked them out, please do. If you are looking for what do you call it? If you are looking for an alternative source of income, legit income, where you can own your own business, start yours, please scan this QR code on your screen, okay, and read more out there. I will take calls, all right? I'll take calls, and I'll be back. So also, I am going to be inviting, see, if you have actually signed up for this digital business training and all that, okay, and I know that they told me that about 2 or so of you have actually like started your own personal business after this training and all that, which is great. So I would love to possibly invite you to come and share your own experience on Mayegun's Diary Politico, as well as the Ya Rasulallah's Digital's face behind it. So I will be back. Let me stretch my legs, okay? And I'll take calls before we go to bed tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I am back, and I have the first caller this evening or this night. Here we go. Hello, sir.
Hello, this is Ondo from Leeds.
That's
good evening.
You are the first person to say
well
take
done.
calls, and everybody agrees that we should take calls. Ondo.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, look at that. I've been waiting because all the time these days,
I know.
you don't, I don't know why, you're a bit reluctant in taking calls these days. I thought, well, I can understand maybe it's family.
And I know that is piling up. A lot of people have, we've had since the day that, Iroboye said his prayer stopped the Naira from crashing to 10,000. A lot of you have been like, you have become pregnant with so much you want to say. So yeah, let's start now. Now you have your shots.
Yes, look, the thing is that when I saw Ondo State election as it was going, and then I was, I thought to myself that it seems that everybody doesn't understand that this regime that we are in is only when they allow you to, they've shown it to everyone that they don't care about people's, emotions, they just throw those into the bin, and then all they need is just what they want, right? They don't want anything else, is what they want. And then, we are just, we need to come to that realization that that is what we are, what we are into now. And so, in fact, to me, I will only advise people, because now I've learned how to cope with it, right? I don't let it bother me anymore. It was immediately after the election, the general election, that I was, fuming. It affects me a lot, and that. But now I've accepted it, and they should just go on with their
one party states,
whatever.
Doing election with them is just a waste of time, waste of resources, waste of lives.
Yeah, maybe that will encourage the Western world to finance people who are ready to revolt, right? If they need to show it more to the Western world that, okay, this is turning to a one-party state. And of course, Americans will not like that. So, but they need to really show it. So let's encourage them, right? I think that's the only way out now. Yes, they should keep it up. We should applaud it. Yes, they are doing well. In fact, everybody should join APC now. In fact, the people who doesn't want to join it, the Labour Party, everybody, let's just join APC.
Everybody,
so we know that
vote for Koolu.
Yeah, China.
Everybody APC. See how far
so we know that. Yeah. So the Western world will now raise the look. I think this is going too far, because that will entice all this Russian, all these, ideas of one-party states to become, the thing. So let's just, because me, I don't shout. I've disturbed myself too much. I've worried myself too much. Now I just don't want to worry myself again. So that, you know what? Yeah. Let's continue talking about them, encouraging them, and then cursing them. And the one that thinks that it is because, yes, it is because of him that Nigerian Naira doesn't crash to 10,000 Naira. Well, I don't know what to say about that one.
I know.
But we shall see.
Let me take most of our time again. Oda, it's good to hear from you, Baba.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, for opening the floor. Here is Chris. Hello.
Hello, Mayegu Baba.
Hello, sir. How are you?
How are you doing? I'm good. And you?
I'm very well. Oh, can't complain. Thanks for asking.
Yes. Today, when I was listening to you, I was happy and I was fuming at the same time, because you were just hitting the nail on the head. Like, damn, I saw when you showed Peter Obi going to the United States and Yale, yes. And then you talked about Osun State, and I was wondering, we know who Peter Obi is. We know he's way better than these people. We don't need him to show us how good he is anymore. We want him to understand that no matter how good he is, he cannot win the election.
Because there is no election at all in anything the APC is involved or conducting.
Exactly. He needs to understand now that it's better he uses money, go and take vacation somewhere else, than to invest in 2027, because if he cannot do something now to change this electoral system that we have, this electoral body, INEC, the whole thing, instead of him wasting time going to America to advertise himself, it's better he wastes his time doing this one than doing that, the other one, because no matter how much you try to show the world, they're not going to come and tell Thiefnubu not to rig the election.
No.
So if like now, you know, some states are still like you said, Edo once, I had some Edo friends. They were like, no, it can never happen. I said, you people don't know Thiefnubu. You people don't know Thiefnubu. You know, at the end of the day, they are still in shock. The Edo people are still in shock until today.
For tribunal, I was like, okay.
They are still in shock until today. Now, look at Onshu State.
They are beating their chest now. Like you can never happen. I say, I will be here. We shall see.
It don't already happen, Seth. This one, they've already discussed how they will take it. Now, there is one that I'm waiting for them to do. That one is in Anambra State.
With Soludo.
Soludo. You know, Soludo has always died with Thiefnubu.
Yes. He's been dancing to it now, all the time. They go show him.
But I know they will show him. That's what I'm waiting for. When they now, because now these people don't realize now that we all have one common enemy. They think Thiefnubu is their friend. They don't understand that this man is only for himself. You understand? Even this wicked man. The only reason why Thiefnubu is enjoying him, because Thiefnubu is using him. There is no way Thiefnubu will support Wike in any time to be president of Nigeria. I don't know if exactly. So at the end of the day, Thiefnubu will surely hurt all these people that are helping him. You hurt them. So now I'm waiting for Soludo now. Soludo's turn is coming next year.
It is so. It is coming.
They will take it away from him. They've already said it now, and when they say it, they will do it.
That one thing where I respect APC for be that. I tell you ahead of time.
I didn't know our people can be so coward. They tell you what they want to do to you, and you let it slide.
Now, you call the tell them say they know enough our people no go agree. Who be your people? You have no idea what you are up against. Now they are threatening him in the north. Where do you think he's trying to solidify? The south. Wherever he's going to take.
Exactly. There is nothing anybody can do. They have taken it already. Nothing you. If we want to say this is the time.
You have to start the mobilization of the entire
now.
They want jail you
now. Exactly. If you say let's wait to say, oh, my dear, my brother,
you are just
there is no hope.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
You will just waste. They will discourage the fact the way they discourage people are. Maybe that person don't chop. Now you will go line up to vote. Abi, you never chop. So now when you don't come out now, they will now increase their own number of votes that you came out, and then at the end of the day, so what's the point? So now we have to fight for them to change everything.
For those who want to do election
now,
if they are not the same.
Yes, people, now.
It is better now you actually begin to mobilize the people against what you're already saying. The whole
exactly
that is already locking around.
Exactly.
Anybody will
yes.
Now validation.
Yes.
Just won't waste people's lives. And it's not working.
Yes. Look at Daniel Bwala. Do you think Thiefnubu cares about him?
It doesn't. It's just he needed that voice too. You can see him. Oh, it's being written right now. We'll go
also. No. Our people need to wake up. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
So
yes. Bye-bye.
That's something there, especially for those who are vying to say they want to go and do election. You won't do election with Thiefnubu. Mahmoud Yakubu is still the INEC guy. You won't go get voters card. Now who go count him? And now who go vote? The hungry people will say they are ready to collect 2,000 naira. They are the ones you want to actually believe that they are suffering under Thiefnubu. They will not lie. You have no idea. So it's up to you. This is for those of you who are like saying you want to vote to, for those of us who knows that it is a pure waste of time, if there's anything at all to do, it is to use all of your positions, right, to mobilize the people, to start with the supposed new constitution, to start with that one, and then let's have a chat if we really want to still be part of this contraption or not. Ask that question. It's important, right? Thiefnubu promised the youth that they're going to have a youth conference. I have not heard anything about that since. Hello.
Hello, my brother.
Baba.
Chief Adela from Canada again.
Oh, that's a Chief Abdiola from Canada. How are you today, sir?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very okay, sir. Thanks so much for asking. Joining us again this
time. Another explosive one today. Thank you for doing a good work.
Thank you so much for being there, sir.
The reality on the ground is Nigerians are wasting their time. Nigerians are just wasting their time, except we go the way of starting a new nation. Individually, nothing will change in Nigeria. We are working against principalities and powers. The foundation of Nigeria was built on deceit. Nothing will change it. I heard one of the callers talking about America will now realize we are in a one nation state. Has there been any election in Nigeria? I told you I've been around. I've been around for over 6 decades. And nothing will change. Nothing will change in Nigeria. Nigeria is configured and manipulated by certain people for their own interest. America is not interested in ruling Nigeria. They're only interested in what they can get out of Nigeria.
That's it.
Nigeria will not change.
It's their friend.
Yes, their friend. Nigeria will not change from internally. Nigeria will either change by the people coming to say, well, enough is enough. The percentage of people manipulating Nigeria they are not more than 10,000 at the mass. 10,000 people out of supposed 200 million people. And we cannot do nothing because we don't have courage. Because of all those things you have read, religion, tribal, those are the things that they have sewed into our brain right from primary school. Hardly you see anybody identifying with Nigeria. Everybody identify with their tribes.
That's right.
Because Nigeria is not working. Nigeria is not working for anybody. It's only working for those that are benefiting from it. So, Thiefnubu understands the game of power and money.
It does.
It's a brutal game. It's a brutal game. So, when you are in that game, anything must give way for your ambition.
Everything is
PDP got 24 states. Yes, it's not a fair game. It's a game of brutish. You have to be brutal when you are in the game of money and power. That is why IBB killed Vasa. That's game of power. That is why they eliminated MKO. That's game of power. How it was eliminated. That was game of power. You want to remain in power, everybody is your enemy. Everybody. Yes, everybody is your enemy. Now, coming to the 24 states at some point belong to the PDP out of 36 states.
Remember?
Yes. Thiefnubu will get 26 or 30 states in the next election. Forget all the noise from Bauchi Governor Bala, Makinde, Fintiri. They are all working for APC steady. They're working for APC. Nobody, except, like you always say here, except the call of God. Thiefnubu is interested in second. The campaign is already ongoing. He has gotten it.
Already.
Get it. Yes. See, Obi is a very good man. Obi is not in the game of money and power. Obi want to serve. In Nigeria of today, service is nothing. You are not going there to serve. In fact, His problem with the system is because he wants to come and serve. That is his problem. This man is coming to make us look like we are bad people. He will never get there. Except we have region. Even in his region, in his state, Soludo is fighting him.
That is one shocker for me, because he's always been like a friend of that Soludo, but unfortunately, he's not his friend. He's like, no, I'm not your friend. He publicly said Obi running that he wants to be president is against the interest of the East, and he has put the East. He said he has put the East in a very bad position to the leadership of.
Instead of saying has put
him wants to be president. Soludo said that in a letter.
Yes. So that is the reality.
He wants to be president, so he has pitted the Igbos against the rest of Nigeria, which has put the Igbos in a very bad spot. I was like, what?
That's right. For whatever reason, Marigo,
sir,
look at these two strategies. Abba Kyari control the economy. He's sitting on the economy of Nigeria. Forget about Kadoso. Forget about Edu. Abba Kyari has been faulted in every area as a non-performer. But the people in game of power, I'm sorry, Mele,
he's the one holding Nigeria economically in the jugular, sir.
He is. But with all his faults, the people that are interested in game of power and money will never remove him. Just like you said the other time that you need to be a fraudulent person to be in government, to be working with the current government. Okay, look at all the cries about the INEC chairman Yakubu, especially since 2023. Election has been going down the drains till then.
Yes, sir.
Has there been anybody, committee, or from the House of Assembly, Senate, or anything that has been formed to even probe one of his action in office?
None.
No. These are the two critical areas. And the most important one is the judiciary. This critical area that I mentioned to you is the Nigeria we are talking about. I mean, it's in control of one man. Nigeria is in for, we are in for it. Except people come up.
Right. I told you, I said now, except if it will
be a long haul.
It will get everything.
Nothing will change. It will get it. If you want 36 states, just like the way the governors are getting all their local government, he will get it next. No matter what the noise the North will make. Oh, it's not, forget, let it be around 2025. This time next year, all the clerics that are preaching against Thiefnubu today, all the this guy, oh, they will change. Because the file is right on his table. Is God the EFCC? Who is a rich man in Nigeria that doesn't have a bad past? Who?
Sir.
If you want to keep anybody short today, among them, they will campaign for him in 2028. I mean, in 2027. Guaranteed. Nigerians are the ones suffering all this. Unfortunately, the remnants of the people that are eating crumbs, like the crumb eaters, we call them in the temple of truth, they are the one in this. So,
Chivadola,
unfortunately,
thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll let you go. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you. Thanks so much for always being there.
Have a nice week.
Yes, sir. So we have, we have just maybe 20 minutes to go. It's not up to that though, but yeah, we can still use the remainder of this time if we want to. So let's see. Do I even see up that? I hope so. Here is another caller, George. Hello.
Good morning from Cambodia.
Good evening to you. How are you, Baba?
I'm good. I greet everybody from the family.
Please.
Yeah, it's almost 6 a.m. here today, and I've been following up.
Cambodia again, right?
Yes. And like I said, like I said the last time, and I will say it again today, my if we are only talking about these things, and they are, because normally everywhere in the world was captured. Government is an organized crime everywhere in the world. There is no space in this world. Everywhere we're captured. That's why some countries are bigger, some countries are smaller. It's about where you can capture at the moment. Some people are still pushing. Russia wants Ukraine. People are pushing. Nobody is giving anybody any space because they are begging to be recognized, or you are calling America or UK to come and give you your Biafra or your Nobody is going to give anybody anything. So it's only by force. Nigerians were formed by force. Biafrans were defeated during the war, and that is the situation. I'm an Igbo man. So that is the situation we Biafrans are facing inside Nigeria. Exactly. So it's about, if you are able to turn things around, it's all about military power. Nigeria don't fear people who are begging. They fear those who can cause mayhem. Nigeria fear those who can destroy things. They don't fear beggars. They don't fear those who want to go through the normal people. By the rules and all that. They don't fear that. They only fear those who are willing. You see, what's his name again? You remember Buhari? When Buhari was contesting the election, several times he contested, he lost, he didn't. I mean, nobody was paying attention until he was ready to create problem for Nigeria by bringing terrorists into the country. Good luck has to give away. Because all of them know, PDP knows that all of them are riggers. They are all rigging election. So even if Good Luck is trying to form like one good human being and all that, he knows, he has been a governor. He knows how things work. It's about who will rig for you in his state and all these things. So I just pity the situation we all find ourselves in. We can drag this thing for the next 50 years. Nothing will change. Nothing will change because
if the approach towards it doesn't change, nothing changes.
You raise a flag, they will shoot gun. You protest, they will shoot gun. Whatever you do, they will shoot gun. So that is their character. Only if they match them force by force, that is the only way they will say, okay, let's negotiate or let's talk about this. If not, they will pretend like nothing is happening and they will continue. They will still double down and do worse than they are doing now. So, and people are giving birth, intermarriage going everywhere. Like I said the last time, intermarriage will continue, and by the next 50 years, those new generation will not be willing to fight. They will see themselves as half Igbo, half Yoruba, or half Fulani, half TV, and all that, and they will not want to fight anybody. They will just be there, say, "Let's come together." That's their normal slogan. Let's come together and talk about it. Come together. It will continue and continue because you see Fulani. Nigerians should not play with Fulani. Fulani is not. Not on that. Fulani is a very. I don't know how to put it, but it's one kind tribe in Africa. If you read their story around African countries, you know that Fulani, they are warriors who are willing to die. They are willing to die. That is their. Yes, they are willing to die. So when they are dealing with people who are not willing to die, so they find it easy, and they are just living like this. That is why you see a tribe like Igbo and Yoruba in our numbers, and you see Fulani that is not up to 10 million, pitching Igbo and Yoruba heads together and ruling against us by force, and dividing us and showing us that they are the masters in the game. And we have accepted that if you want to find yourself in the table, you have to cooperate with them, and it continues like this. So I just like I said before, if we don't do something differently and continue to do the same thing we have been doing all these years, nothing will change, and people will continue to intermarry, and at a time everybody will relax and accept the status quo.
Oh my God! So some of our own, our children will be lost in the shuffle. And all these things, probably oh no, I don't want to think it, but I get your message. Thank you so much, George Baba. Okay, let me take another one, possibly the last one for the night, and it will be one for the road. Hello there.
Hello, my king.
Oh, that is Prince Adebayo from Sweden. You made it tonight again. It's been a while. How are you?
I made it. I'm fine. It's like I have a hot number. Anytime I call, I always make it. I always beat out all the.
We have people who have been trying for the past year now, and somehow they are wondering if I have not been so biased, picking the same people again and again when they are able to get through.
You know, they will not understand. Thank you, Baba. Baba, please, I wanted to. I'm fine. I was listening to your program, and I was listening to when you were talking about the WikiLeaks expose. Baba, please, I want to beg you, because I don't know which one is the authentic, WikiLeaks. I don't want to read something and then think I've read the authentic one. Baba, can you, in one of your programs, just give us all the exposés about Nigeria in that WikiLeaks, because that will further enlighten us more.
Okay.
Because you know that since this
and then I share the links.
Exactly. Because since this David Hundeyin case that exposed Thiefnubu, do you know that every subsequent court, every subsequent FBI, CIA, and a document, they redact more and more. It's like they have decided to be redacting more and more in order to give our government, this fake government, opportunity. They are redacting it more and more. But that expose, the first one they released, that one revealed a lot.
Yes.
For us. And then if you connect it with this WikiLeaks thing, I think that's going to open our eyes to a lot.
No, I'll give you I'll share. I mean, what I'm going to do is this. It is all the same link. It's in a public library, okay? When it comes to that WikiLeaks stuff, okay? But I'll give people the link. Then I will give you the keywords to search, okay?
Thank you.
There are keywords that you search for, all right? And they will bring all of it to you. Sure, you get that. I'll work on that one, and I will share the keywords that you have to look for in those libraries. And you will just be reading. It could be like say you are reading novel.
Thank you.
I'll work on that.
Thank you, Baba.
No wahala.
Thank you very much. Today, I was also happy. Today, there's this girl that is South Africa rejected for this thing. She became.
I was going to talk about her, but
Baba, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I was on the South African platform. They were just angry. Baba, my day was made.
She's
let me know.
A wonderful soul. Honestly speaking,
I love that girl.
If you are not just reading people's opinion about what's going on, just listen to her talk. Okay, our interviews and some of our clips and all that. She's such a very young, beautiful soul that did not decide that kind of hatred that this homophobic, this xenophobic South Africans unleashed on her. At the same time, I have to give credit to some of the South Africans who stood by her too, because there were so many of them too that were so ashamed of how things play out. Yeah, she won. She's second now.
I'm so happy. She has made my year.
She is also Miss Universe for Africa and the Oceania countries.
And Oceania, she'll now be representing both South Africa and everybody.
That's massive.
She don't need that citizenship anymore.
She doesn't even need the South African passport anymore, man.
Oh my God.
She's going to live in the US, right? She's going to live in the US for the next year, and she can stay in the US forever. Because right now, all she will need is just as an international model. She can be signed up by any model agency and all that. And she could become a media personality. This guy is just a starting point right now. Even though she didn't win, but she wants something that is so unique.
Second place is not easy now. Second place, if anything happens to me, if the first one now is sick or anything, she's the one who's going to help her.
That will take the,
she will be working 24 hours. She'll be busy. Money will be coming to she and her family. They don't need any.
I know.
Baba, no. That will make my year.
Ben Bruce.
I like that.
That's one good thing that is done in the last is become an horrible person lately, right? But this one actually sort of revived something.
Revived his name. Yes.
Thank you,
Baba. I'm so happy. Baba, thank you too much.
Good night, okay? Thank you so much.
You too.
Yes, sir. So I will work on the link as the prince from Sweden has suggested. Okay. So to everyone, thank you. Everyone, thank you so much for your time this evening. I hope you have a wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful night, and then you have a great week as well. Okay. Please remember, like, share this broadcast, and maybe even subscribe to my channel before you go to bed if you haven't already. Okay. Thank you and good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ó fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjọ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.